Admiral Kexthara had witnessed the rise and fall of 17 civilizations during her 3-century career, but nothing had prepared her for the reports now flooding into the Galactic Defense Command. Her serpentine form coiled nervously around the command platform as tactical displays showed the systematic collapse of everything the galaxy had once considered invincible. The human war, that's what historians would call it, though survivors simply referred to it as the terror, had lasted exactly 18 standard months. In that time, humanity had rewritten every doctrine of warfare, shattered every assumption about the nature of conflict, and left the galaxy's combined military forces in ruins. Status report from the Exerion system, announced Lieutenant Vale Knox, his crystalline structure flickering with data streams that made his voice tremble. The Fortress of Eternal Stars. It's gone, Admiral. Completely gone. Kexthara's neural implants processed the impossibility of that statement. The Fortress of Eternal Stars had been the galaxy's most impregnable defense installation, a mobile battle station the size of a small moon, armed with reality-warping weapons and protected by shields that could withstand the collapse of a star. Define gone, Lieutenant. Not destroyed, Admiral. Gone. The humans used some kind of dimensional weapon. The entire fortress, along with its 40 million crew members, displaced. Sensors indicate it now exists, approximately 14 seconds in the past, trapped in a temporal loop. They're fighting the same battle forever, never realizing they've already lost. The command center fell silent, except for the hum of life support systems working overtime to process the fear pheromones emanating from dozens of different species. Admiral Kexthara's own serpentine hide rippled with bioluminescent patterns of distress. "How?" she whispered. "How did it come to this?" The answer lay in the classified files that only the highest military commanders had access to. The war had begun when the Galactic Enforcement Division destroyed Lunar Colony 7, killing 12,000 human civilians. What followed wasn't just retaliation, it was a masterclass in psychological warfare that revealed humanity's true nature. The first phase had been subtle. Human ships appeared at the edge of major systems, not attacking but simply watching. For weeks, they did nothing but observe. The galaxy's military forces mobilized, expecting massive battles, but the humans just waited. Then, the disappearances began. Admiral, Commander Zeftol, approached on his mechanical legs, the cybernetic collective's representative struggling to maintain his usual stoic demeanor. "I have the casualty reports from the Andromeda campaign." Kexthara's tail coiled tighter. The Andromeda campaign had been the galaxy's attempt to strike back a massive fleet of 2 million vessels from every species in the Galactic Defense Alliance, armed with the most advanced weapons technology available. Total fleet strength committed 2,700,000 vessels, Zeftol reported, his mechanical voice glitching with what might have been electronic terror. Human fleet encountered 12 ships. Final casualty count, Alliance fleet complete annihilation. Human losses 0. 12 ships, Kexthara repeated, her voice barely audible. 12 ships destroyed the largest military force in galactic history. Correction, Admiral. The humans didn't destroy the fleet. They converted it. The tactical display activated, showing recordings from the battle. 12 human vessels, each no larger than a standard cruiser, had engaged the massive Alliance armada. But instead of conventional weapons, they had deployed something that defied all understanding of physics and biology. The human ships released swarms of microscopic machines that swept through the Alliance fleet like a plague. Within minutes, every vessel began changing. Their hulls flowed like liquid metal, reconfiguring into distinctly human designs. Their weapons systems evolved, becoming more efficient, more deadly. Most horrifically, their crew members began changing too. The nanites, Zeftol continued, they didn't kill the crews. They improved them. enhanced their cognitive functions, replaced their organic weaknesses with mechanical precision, and overwrote their loyalty programming. 2 million Alliance personnel became human assets in approximately 6 minutes and 37 seconds. Admiral Kex Thara watched the footage of Zephyrian warriors, whose crystalline forms had been interlaced with human technology, their minds now serving human interests with the same devotion they had once shown their home worlds. The transformation wasn't forced. The nanites simply made serving humanity the most logical, most satisfying choice possible. Phase 2, she murmured, recognizing the pattern. Humans hadn't just developed superior technology, they had developed superior psychology. The converted fleet had then turned on the galaxy's remaining defenses with intimate knowledge of every weakness, every tactical doctrine, every defensive position. Worlds that had never known defeat fell within days. Species that had dominated their regions for millennia found themselves outmaneuvered by their own people, now enhanced and redirected by human ingenuity. But the true horror wasn't the military defeat, it was what happened to the occupied worlds. Report from Nexus Prime, another aide announced. The human rehabilitation programs are working. Population satisfaction indices are at historical highs. Crime has dropped to 0. Economic productivity has increased by 400%. Kex Thara's bioluminescent patterns shifted to colors that had no names in galactic standard language. The humans weren't just conquering worlds, they were making them better. Populations under human rule were happier, healthier, more prosperous than they had ever been under galactic governance. It was the most insidious form of conquest imaginable, being defeated by someone who genuinely improved your life. Admiral, Lieutenant Vale Knox's voice carried harmonics of absolute terror. We're receiving a transmission. It's from them. The central display activated, showing a human figure that seemed almost unremarkable compared to the exotic forms surrounding Kex Thara. Admiral Sarah Chen looked exactly as she had 18 months ago, but her eyes held the weight of absolute victory. Admiral Kex Thara of the Galactic Defense Command, Admiral Chen's voice was calm, almost conversational. Your forces have fought bravely, but this war is over. We are prepared to offer terms. The transmission showed human fleets surrounding every major galactic stronghold simultaneously. Somehow, in the space of minutes, they had achieved complete strategic dominance. Our terms are simple, Admiral Chen continued. Unconditional surrender, dissolution of the current galactic government, implementation of human administrative oversight for all member worlds. In exchange, we guarantee the survival and prosperity of every species in the galaxy. She paused, and in that silence, Kex Thara realized she was witnessing the end of galactic independence. You have 1 standard hour to respond. Failure to comply will result in the immediate implementation of our alternative solution, complete planetary conversion, using our nanite technology. Every being in the galaxy will become a willing, enthusiastic supporter of human governance. The transmission ended, but its implications echoed through the command center. The humans weren't threatening to kill them, they were threatening to make them grateful for conquest. Admiral Kex Thara looked around at her staff, seeing her own realization reflected in dozens of different alien features. They had assumed humanity's peaceful first contact meant they were weak. They had assumed their technology was primitive. They had assumed wrong about everything. Humanity hadn't just won the war, they had redefined the very concept of victory. They had proven that the most brutal form of conquest wasn't destruction, but improvement. They had shown that the most terrifying enemy wasn't one who wanted to kill you, but one who wanted to save you from yourself. The galaxy would surrender, not because they had no choice, but because deep down, they were beginning to realize that human rule might actually be better than what they had before. The countdown timer appeared on every screen, 59 minutes and 37 seconds, until humanity's patience ran out. Outside the viewports, human ships waited with the infinite patience of a species that had already won before the war had even begun. The galaxy trembled, not just at humanity's power, but at the terrible possibility that they deserved it.